This will bring a little bit of discipline back to our schools. A charter school group in New Orleans charging parents a $25 fee every time their kid is punished with a Saturday detention. Sabrina, you think this is a good idea, huh?
Yeah, I can go along with this. Look, if your child is disruptive enough that they have to be sent to a Saturday detention, then parents need to know that, right? And I think a fine might be that important wake-up call. And I suspect if these are charter school kids, they're already a self-selected population of parents who want to be involved, who want to know what's going on. So I think this might be a good policy for this school.
By the way, EMAC, the reason this charter school says they have to impose a fine is because it costs money for these detention centers. They say the program includes counseling by a licensed social worker for students and parents to address the root causes of the behavior. So they say if they're spending money, the parents should pay for it.
Yeah, I don't know. When money gets involved, when you have these local bureaucrats, then maybe doing a lot of detention just to make the money. There's another way, too. Some charter schools that I'm aware of, my goddaughter teaches at one, they force a parent to attend detention with the student, and that kind of works.
That's an interesting idea. What about that, Rich, substituting the fine for forcing the parents to go into detention with the kids?
I think both are great ideas, and I would add a third, make the kids earn at minimum wage by sweeping the floors. Look, charter schools exist because there is a lot of disorder in too many public schools, so they have to take disruptive students very seriously and get the message to parents.
Well, John, by the way, if you use Rich's example, the kids would probably go union. I mean, now that they're unionizing college football players, if you sweep the hallways, you could probably join a union. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I like this. Education should be local, and I say the biggest problem with schools today are unruly students and parents that don't care. So anything that makes parents want to be more involved and get more out of their kids, make them take it more seriously, leads to better educational outcomes.
Well, Rick, that's the point. I was a teacher in Chicago, and the kids whose parents weren't involved never did as well.
No, I think that's indisputable. Of course, that's true. I do have to say to Rich, when I was in high school, the job to after detention, when I got done with detention, I would have liked sweeping the floors for minimum wage a whole lot better.
Well, unfortunately, Steve, we went back to the old days. We had the teachers that would grab you by the lapel and throw you up against a locker. I don't think we're ready to go back there yet. Maybe we should, but we're not ready.
Yeah, and why pay the kids to sweep the halls if they have done something wrong? No money. How about pulling weeds? That's a good punishment. How about taking the graffiti off the wall, scrubbing? So no money, you just have the punishment.
But, Steve, you're a good capitalist. I mean, you know the importance of money and as an incentive to get people. I mean, if parents are forced to dig into their pocket and pay out every time their kid's in detention, I'm beginning to think that maybe that would have an effect.
Oh, it would have an effect, and if they want to try it, go ahead. But in terms of a punishment, pulling weeds during the summertime, having to scrub the walls, sweep the halls, no kid likes that, especially when the sun shines out.
And by the way, Sabrina, the school is offering an alternative to paying the fee or going to detention, which is suspension. So if the kid wants to be suspended, in my eyes, they're offering enough alternatives to make this a pretty legitimate thing.
I think it could work, but you know what I think also works is social pressure. Sometimes at the younger ages, they say if one kid does something wrong, the whole class suffers. Sometimes that actually works, and it may work at the older age too, better than pulling them out on a Saturday.
Good last word from Sabrina. Coming up, 73% of Americans say they